Welcome back. So there are warnings today that middle-class households are at risk of rocketing council tax bill rises. So just bear that in mind when I reveal what I'm about to tell you now. So your council tax, if you're middle class, is probably going to go through the roof. So you could be paying more for stuff like this. Asylum seekers are using taxpayer-funded bank cards in betting shops and casinos. Under Freedom of Information laws, the Politics Home website discovered that around 6,500 asylum seekers have used their government-issued bank cards at least once for gambling in the past year. Oh yeah, but it gets better, this, people, gets better. It turns out that Wandsworth Council is offering special discounts for migrants, including half-price e-bike rentals. Oh yes, half-price transport if you're an asylum seeker. They're also being offered 50% off pottery and life drawing classes. I can see a problem happening with the life drawing class, but maybe we'll ignore that for now. Half-price weddings at Wandsworth Town Hall. Now why could that be? What would it make it easier for you to do if you got married in Britain? I wonder. Anyway, they've also got half-price fishing permits, which might explain why we are seeing videos in some areas of people who look a lot like illegal migrants fishing. But anyway, and now Lambeth Council is following suit, as Guido Fawkes reports. They're now giving £100 per child to asylum-seeking families for school uniforms. Well, there we go. What do you make of that? Max Young from Guido Fawkes joins me now. So, Max, it appears that you can get quite a lot of incentives in Britain that, you know, dare I say it, ordinary tax-paying, hard-working Brits are unable to get.
Yeah, that's right, Patrick, you certainly can. And I think as more of this stuff comes out, a lot of this has been going on for quite some time. It's not going to wash with taxpayers anymore because the situation's really changed since the early coalition period, when we enjoyed doing this sort of feel-good stuff where, on the face of it, we are improving the lives with freebies and perks and giveaways for people who probably don't have a lot of money. But the situation has changed now. We've got a state that can't function on multiple levels. And we've also got a serious issue with a pull factor on illegal immigration, where people come to the country and claim asylum. And you know, this Wandsworth Borough Council handing out 50% off Lime, Forest and Voi bikes. So they've agreed that with the companies themselves. So the companies are stumping up the cash for that. And what that tells you is that the council has spent time negotiating jointly with these companies, probably with a threat, because, you know, only a stick is going to work if they're fronting the cash, right? So they'll have said, you probably can't operate at all in Wandsworth if you don't offer these concessions to PIP claimants. And asylum seekers.
That's interesting, but I'm just thinking, I mean, I love the way that Guido Fawkes operates, because once you get the whiff of something, you normally like to follow that up. So I imagine, Max, that this could be quite bad news for a lot of other local councils now, as people like yourself in that Guido Fawkes office decide to have a look at what they're all up to.
That's absolutely right. It's indicative of a wider issue, that there's a broad and actually growing, as we can see from Wandsworth, architecture at the local level to hand out these perks and freebies. A lot of it is actually orchestrated by organisations and charities. There are two, the Migrant Champions Network and the City of Sanctuary organisation, which are particularly egregious. The first one actually includes a pledge for councils and city authorities that sign up for them to refuse to share data with the Home Office, right? So it's actually working against the government. And what that tells you now...
What kind of data? Sorry, what kind of data?
So there's information that councils have that they can share with the Home Office to make Home Office procedures when it comes to locating, moving asylum seekers around much easier. And councils in general, the more left-wing ones, although Tories are prone to this as well, Lib Dems, Green, controlled councils, who sign up to this pledge, in essence, bind their staff informally or formally to not share any data with the Home Office, which is obviously a massive issue. Right. It's terrible that they have legal obligations that they have to fulfil.
Yeah, I recently had a encounter with the charity sector over in Calais, and I must say it's just there's a lot more work to be done there when it comes to exposing who some of these people are. But I suppose the overarching thing is, Max, that you feel as though maybe you're on the cusp and you're your colleagues at Guido Fawkes are on the cusp of revealing how many councils up and down Britain give incentives to illegal migrants that ordinary people don't get. The same councils that are probably about to hike people's council tax yet again.
We've coined the phrase Asylum, Freebiegate. It's a bit of a callback to the Labour Freebiegate of last year. There needs to be an audit done, and we're working on categorically collating all this stuff now. So
Brilliant.
Your viewers can check the Guido Fawkes website in the coming weeks as we put this all together and paint a full picture. But taxpayers will really not view this as appropriate activity for the councils to be going on with. And neither should the Labour government, because this is ultimately a matter of political will for Labour.
Yeah, 100%.
You've got their councils, losing them votes broadly by raising taxes and making their lives harder. These are key political ambitions for Labour, is to solve this problem. So they need to get a move on and actually impose extra restrictions on the councils on this activity, which they've not so far done.
Look at what's happened in just really, the last couple of weeks. It's really kicked on. So we've had the undeniable truth about illegal migrant working and how prevalent that is. Now unequivocal proof about where they are spending some of their taxpayer-funded money on, i.e. casinos, or definitely on booze and things like that as well. You just know that anecdotally. You've also got official things now about widespread criminality at migrant hotels. You've had protests recently, some of which might have worked, actually, in the likes of Epping tonight, that news that they're going to recommend to the Home Office that they shut that hotel down. We've had a huge expose of what's going on in Calais, where for the £1 billion or whatever it is that we've sent the French, they've not even put a fence up between the largest migrant camp in northern France and the sea, and the French police are doing nothing to stop the human traffickers. All of this in the last couple of weeks, and now you've got this from yourselves as well, which is about the amount of taxpayers' money and incentives that is going to these illegal immigrants. This can't carry on, Max. It absolutely cannot carry on. We are, I think, through the great work that you guys are doing and other news outlets, as well as, of course, I think some of us here at GB News, I think we're having an impact, I think. So there we go. But Max, we're gonna leave it there. But thank you very much, Max Young from Guido Fawkes.
Thanks.
A Wandsworth Council spokesperson said, "We are committed to making Wandsworth a fairer place to live. Our Access for All scheme is Britain's most generous concessionary scheme and breaks down barriers to make sure all residents have an equal chance to access local opportunities." Oh, good, the Home Office have been on as well. They say the Home Office have begun an investigation into the use of Aspen cards. These are some of the cards that they dish out to people with a bit of money on them. The Home Office has a legal obligation to support asylum seekers, including any dependents.